Florence Gichuhi. Thank you for watching Unlocked Greatness on Brilliant Joy TV on Roku. Have you ever wondered what the secret is for bringing families together, staying connected, and more importantly, unlocking their greatness? Well, I have 3 points here that I want to share with you. Number one, you as a parent, I want to encourage you that you are doing the right thing. Number one, you are the best parent that you are given that mandate to raise your children. You are the best parent for your children. Here's what happened that brings disconnect. We are conditioned as parents from previous generation that our children come to this world wrong, that it is our job to make them right. And what I mean by that is that we are conditioned to erase their negatives. It's not your fault. It is what has been conditioned, you have been conditioned to do, to erase what makes you uncomfortable, what others think that your children should be. And that is what the culture has conditioned us to do. Erase what is wrong with them. Children are not wrong. They are created in God's image, and they have everything in them that God has given them to do in this world. Their purpose in this world can only be fulfilled by them, and God knows them wholly, and He has given you that mandate to guide them, right? That is number one. So my first invitation for you as a parent is to move from problem-focused parenting, where you are always focusing on your child's problems or the things that they're not doing right or the wrong in them, and start seeing your child's strength. Focus on their positives. Be aware of your own strengths. What are my strengths? As a parent, am I a good listener? That is something you can learn. Parent from faith, because when you are parenting, focusing on your child's mistakes or the things you need to erase about them because the society has said that your child has to be this kind of person, you are starting to parent from fear, intimidation, and threats, right? That is my first invitation. Set your goal on to seeing what the strengths are for your child. Appreciate them. For instance, if a child's strength is humor, how can you encourage them to use that humor to bring out the best in them, in their work, in their moments of fear, in their moments of discouragement, when they have failed in school, when they have been bullied in school or somewhere? Teenagers are very, very sensitive. And for you, teenager, remember, when your parent is trying to understand you, it is okay for you to take a pause and see, my parent is trying. How can I also try to understand what she or he is teaching me, right? If you try to start small as a parent and you as a teenager, what 3 steps can I take today to get closer to my parents? What 3 steps can I take today to get closer to my child? What are their values? And do they coincide? Do they agree with my values? So my invitation for you as a parent is to make sure that you are noticing those good things that encourage your child, right? Because in life, everybody wants to be seen, to be heard, and to be understood. So when we both parents and teenagers work on that, focusing on the strengths does not actually mean ignoring their weaknesses. No, you empower them, being the parent, to empower your children to use their strengths to work on their weaknesses, right? As a result, they will feel seen and they will open up to you because they know that you notice them, right? Let them know that you have observed their strengths. If you need to write a letter, if you need to text them, text them. Be relatable to your teenagers, and that will start bringing you closer. Another thing that I would like to point out to you as a parent is that to look beyond what you see. And what I mean by that is that when you look at a child's behavior, what you're seeing is an outward expression of what's going on inside them. Number one, remember that behavior that you're seeing in your child is not your child's identity. It's not also a representation or a reflection of you as a parent. And it's not your child. Your child's behavior is not your identity. Very important to remember, because if you look at a tree, you never get to see the roots. All you see are the branches on the outside. Look at your child's behavior from that angle and start thinking, okay, so what are the roots of this behavior? Number one, what is my child feeling at this moment? Say, for instance, it is a disagreement that has occurred between the two of you, right? How are you feeling yourself? How is your child, you as a teenager, if you're listening to me, how are you feeling about that circumstance, that confrontation that you just had with your parent? Because when you're feeling something, it gives you another thought. What are you thinking? Because of that feeling, say you brought that home as a teenager, you brought home a D, and you have been this excellent person that comes, excellent in the world's standard, who always comes with A's. How are you feeling about that? And what are your thoughts, right? As a parent, if I were to go to the scientific side of this, how is your nervous system when your child brings this D? Remember, I talked about being conditioned that your child is wrong, they need to be corrected, they have to be made right. Or sometimes you're thinking, oh my goodness, what are people going to say about this? And now your nervous system is kind of like your temperature is rising, you're getting hot under the collar. So those are the things that you need to check out, because all these things, your feelings, your thoughts, the nervous system, the context of the situation, right? When families are disconnected, sometimes things are swept under the rug. And when something comes up, it brings up all that thing that's under the rug. So you could be acting from, you could be missing, in this confrontation, you're missing the context of the situation. You're reacting from a previous situation. Very important, right? Another thing to consider, what are the unmet needs? Because every behavior is a need for a result. Every behavior is a need for a result. So what is the unmet need here? That my child is breaking chairs or is reacting, or I am yelling, I am throwing stuff at my child. What is the unmet need here? Does my child feel soothed by me? Do they feel safe with me to come to me with anything or everything? Or every time this happens, there's this reaction from the past because we never dealt with it. And now they feel scared. They have that need that has never been met. And now this is what's exploding. What are your beliefs about your child? What are your beliefs as your mom, as a dad? Do you believe you are capable of raising this child? Do you believe that God trusted you with this child with all your heart? Or you have bought into this society that tells you that your child has to be this way, you have to be this way as a parent. As a child, are you believing that you're good enough? Right? Another thing you have to look at your at a behavior. These now are the roots. What is my child's development bring us? At what What is their brain development at? Where is it at? Is this where their brain, is this where their brain development is? For instance, if you asked a 2-year-old to go clean up their room, they're not going to clean it up as well as maybe an adult, right? So look at that behavior. Also, another thing to remember when you're having this confrontation, what is the quality of attachment with your child? Do they feel safe? Right? So my invitation for you as a parent is to make sure that you understand that when a child comes to you with anything or you have this confrontation, don't just look at the surface of the things. Make sure you go deeper. And deeper, by deeper, I mean look at all those things, brain development, the context of the situation. Belief, what am I believing about myself during this confrontation, right? What's the nervous system telling me, right? The third invitation I have for you as a parent is connection before correction. When you come to your child with a why, or you ask anybody why, I know, but for myself, if somebody asks me a why, I feel I need to get defensive, right? I need to get defensive. If you look at the word from the good book, the Bible, it says in Proverbs 18:21, it says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. What I mean by that, and that's a very, very profound verse when it comes to parenting teenagers, is if we don't watch our tongue, number one, we are teaching our children who are teenagers, they're upcoming adults, they are the leaders of tomorrow, that they can just spew anything out of their mouth, right? But this is where we lose our connection. And this is big, because if you get this right, you will be unlocking the greatness in your family. We lose our children when our conversation is rooted in judgment, criticism, blame, projection, shame, threats, all those things. That is how we use our children. The best way to have an effective communication that brings families together and then unlocks their greatness is to communicate with a purpose to understand, right? Observe when you're talking to your child. First and foremost, observe what really is the situation that triggered you in this conversation that you're having, right? Ask yourself questions. How do you feel in relation to what you just observed? Very important, because if you look at just what is happening now in the moments of conflict, you'll be able to truly see, hey, this child needs me for this moment, for this reason, right? Again, coming back to the conflict, when it happens, is that how to solve it is understand what needs, values, desires created those feelings that you're feeling. When you judge your child, they don't feel seen, they don't feel heard, they don't feel safe with you, and they don't feel like they can come talk to you. And for you teenagers, I have something for you. One thing to remember is the biggest conversation that you have is the one that happens between your ears. Monitor your thoughts. See what you, first and foremost, if you go to measure your life from Philippians 4:8, is this true? When somebody is bullying you in the streets, is it true? When you're tempted to gossip, to talk bad about somebody else, to post on social media something negative about that somebody else? Is it honorable? Right? Remember also, when you're out there as a teenager, your thoughts matter. Your life matters. How you carry yourself matters. If you're having a negative conversation in your head about yourself, remember, you show other people how to treat you. And how you show other people how to treat you is, number one, respecting yourself, respecting your thoughts, having thoughts that are empowering, and most importantly, if you're struggling with your thoughts, talk to somebody, right? Be open to your parents. Going back to what I said before, make it your goal to have 3 things in the morning that you write down. How am I going to connect closer to my parent today? How am I going to make my parents feel seen, heard, and understood today? Again, my name is Florence Gichuhi, and thank you so much for watching Unlocked Greatness on Brilliant Joy TV on Roku. God bless you.
On the beat.